what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ball Hour family. New episode, new week. Big guest, but he's a small guest to me, and a big guest to you lot. Some of you might know him as Pogba's cousin, Pogba's brother. I don't know, maybe even Pogba's double. You may have seen him on Adidas adverts, but he goes by the name of Josh. Oyinsan. I got that right. Innit? What are you saying, bro? How you been
good,
keeping?
my guy. What's happening, man? Good.
I'm good, man. I'm healthy, man. How you been? How has football been? How has life been through the pandemic? What's been going on with you? It's been a long time.
Yeah, man. It's been a while, innit? Football's been alright right now. Obviously, when the pandemic hit, it was crazy because it left me without a club, to be honest. So I was in a position where most people are like struggling to get somewhere. So that was tough, but everything's coming back now, full circle. So we move.
I find it crazy how you said you were struggling to get somewhere because if someone was to search your name, boy, the amount of teams that come up and decent teams as well. So I want to know, like, why have you been at so many teams? Like, what's going on?
Oh, this is the question I get asked a lot. Like even when I'm speaking to managers, they ask me the same questions. Like, why are you floating about? Like, you've been at some places where you should have kicked on, and it hasn't really happened. And I'll be honest, bro, it's a question I ask myself sometimes. Football is crazy. So I feel like a lot of the time is I didn't really actually understand my role properly as a footballer, as in my position, which is I'm learning to understand now. So I'm obviously quite big for my size. And when clubs see me, they just want me to be that big guy that's up front, no nonsense, flick on, all of this and whatnot. And it took me a while to kind of understand that. You get what I'm saying? So as I am now, I'm learning that, and I feel like it's going to do me well going forward to know a bit more about my position. I feel like because I didn't actually understand the role properly, it kind of made me be misunderstood. So managers might look at me and not that I'm actually playing bad. It's just that, he's not doing that typical thing that we want him to do. Like, why is he not big and beating up man and whatnot? I kind of want to be the guy that's coming short and whatnot, and it's kind of getting him behind, but they want me to fight a man and whatnot. So,
wrestle the Drogba role.
The Drogba role, as you call it. So I feel like that's been the main reason why I've just been hopping a bit, trying to find someone that understands me as a player. Do you know what I mean? So,
because I would say like stability is important, and obviously a lot of people. I'm pretty sure you would know this yourself. A lot of people would think you should have kicked on a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm being real, a lot of people would think you should be pro by now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the teams out there, those teams don't just accept players like that.
Yeah.
You have to be of a certain standard.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's like, when you're looking for stability in a team, what are you now looking for, knowing that, you know what you have to do?
Yeah.
So what are you now looking for other teams to provide for you to ensure that you have that stability in that team?
Well, I'm definitely looking for a manager that will understand me as a player. It definitely has to. That's the main thing for me. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be a manager that I can get on with and you know what I mean, that he can understand me as a player, and then I can play my football. Because I've had clubs, like even to this day now, I've got clubs below asking for me to come in, but it's just like I'm gonna go there, and within first of all, it has to just be a thing where the manager understands what he wants from him, progress and move forward. It definitely has to be a thing where it's the manager. For me, that's the first thing. It just has to be the manager. We get on and we're fine with each other. And I feel once that's cool, then I think I'm cool. Then I can play the game and I can do what I do. I think that's the most important thing for me.
Do you expect a manager to be loyal to you? Because there's this thing with managers and strikers, right?
Yeah.
Managers and strikers become like boys. Like boys.
Yeah.
You even see on a team like, you want to drink? Go on, mate, I'll got you in it. You might become boys. So would you expect your manager to be loyal to you even when things are going wrong, even though this is a results-based business and his job's on the line? And if it takes time for you to develop, obviously, as you said, like knowing who you are, the player you have to become, understanding the system, like, would you still be expecting him to be loyal to you?
That one's tricky,
But
yes and no, because if you put the shoe on the other foot, like if a big club comes in, are you going to be loyal to him, sort of thing? So yes and no. Yes, because you would want that belief from the manager to know that when you're going through a patch, for him to just say, you know what, I know we'll get past it, and he'll move on, and he will get past it. And I don't hold no grudges now. I'm at a stage now where I understand. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm grown enough, I'm man enough to know, okay, cool, if I ain't doing the business, 2-3 games, the manager puts me to the side and says, no, you're not cutting it today. I'm grown enough. I just know when I get back into training, when I'm away from training, I've got to do my thing to make sure I'm patterned and I'm ready for when I go back into show and I can do my thing. So I'm past that stage where I'm sulking, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I know what it is right now. Do you know what I'm saying? And I kind of know myself before it would happen. I would come off the pitch. I'll come off the pitch and I'll be like, oh man, that went right today. You know, I could have done more. I could have done this. You know, if I'm out of it, I would understand. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's only when I would understand. If I feel like, all right, cool, I wasn't at my best. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the only time I'll be like, cool. But if there's any other sort of things where it's a bit like, you know, I feel like I've been doing well and it's clear that I've been doing well, I'm scoring and he's taking me out, I think that's when the friction could possibly come. But apart from that, I would understand, you know, I'll be real.
So where would you say like you've played your best football so far? Obviously you haven't peaked yet, but where would you say so far you've enjoyed your football, you've enjoyed scoring goals, being a part of a team?
Yeah, it was definitely that season I had, that breakout season. I had a season when I was at Cambridge. Listen, I can't lie, football's been a mad thing for me. I've been up and down.
Yeah.
But
Cambridge was good to you.
Cambridge was good to me still because that was
Cambridge was good to
that
you.
season was good still. I was getting all sorts of accolades that year. I was getting articles. I'll definitely say Cambridge, and definitely when I was at Nike Academy. I'm not sure if you remember that. That was a bit when I was 19. I was at Nike Academy and I was doing pretty well there. And that was a moment where I genuinely thought, okay, cool, I might get into the top club now or big club now. Didn't quite happen. But definitely at Cambridge, I was scoring goals. I was free. And the maddest thing about that season is I started off that season just coming off from Ashford. I remember I was at Ashford that year. And towards the end of that season, I scored like 7 goals in like a month. And I got played a month. And I thought, yeah, I'm doing all right. And at the start of the next season, pre-season coming in, I got released out of the blue. And I remember the manager, it was Gary Alexander.
Oh,
I love Gary now. Me and Gary are cool, but at that time I hated him. I wanted
Man
to.
said it's
bro,
on site.
It's on site. I hated. But Gary said something to me that was mad. He was like, "You're lazy." He was getting on to me. You're lazy. You're not this. You're not doing this. And I couldn't understand. And I looked at myself like, "What is he? Is he got a point?" Like, because he released me. I was like, "I'm scoring, but he's released me. I don't get it." And I said to myself, "Listen, no, I'm gonna prove this guy wrong." I literally was in the gym. I was running. I was eating right. And then I went into Cambridge, and that's when I got that 20 plus goals that season, and I smashed it. And I was getting clubs from the league, I was getting clubs from the conference, all sorts of things. And I thought, okay, cool. Now this is doing me justice. Now this is my time to go on and you know rub shoulders with my peers that you know be where I want to be. And it was that season, so I kind of always thank Gary for that because Gary gave me the fuel going into Cambridge because I'd just come off being released from him, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna do my thing now, like.
Do you feel like because it's taking you like quite some time, it's kind of like killed your chances of making it pro? Even though I do believe that you know strikers, I think it's easier for strikers to make it pro than it is defenders. Yeah. So, but in your case, do you believe because it's taking you so long, do you feel like it's killed your chances of making it?
I definitely don't think it's killed my chances. You know, I'm enthusiastic. You see me, I'm so enthusiastic. Like I've got friends that have played football as well, and they've dropped off and they've stopped playing. But I've never actually felt like I want to quit. Obviously, you get days where it's like I'm getting older. It's not patterned yet. You're looking at your boys on Instagram. You see your boys doing this, and you're like, I can be. You know what I mean? Them dark days, them moments. But I'm so enthusiastic. I got good people around me. My family are like so supportive, especially my dad. My dad like literally really wants it as much as I do. So that's a mad driving force for me to get to a level where I can, you know, be proud of myself and be proud of him. Obviously, no matter what, I'm still proud of myself. No matter what, you know what I'm saying? I still feel like I've done myself some justice. But to really get to that level, I feel like that support I got around me helps me. So I never really look at it like an age thing or am I getting old or just play your game. When you feel the moment is you don't want to do it anymore, then you move on. But if you've still got the love and the drive, you find a way to make it happen. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I hear that, but is there like okay? So I understand that you can give your all and get to the highest level you can possible. Like when you say until your legs fall off. Type of thing. But in terms of saying I want to make it pro, do you then give yourself a cut-off point as like, you know what, 28, I'm done. Like, it's no more about pro, highest level possible. Yeah, let me get my bread in.
You know what? Someone gave me this advice.
Because I know you're chasing bread, I mean. You might see the whippy pulled up in outside. Gio, what?
Don't even start that, bro. I don't know who that was. I come in the Uber, bro.
What personalized number?
Mate, to be honest, Georgie, I'll be real with you. Someone gave me this advice maybe about the year before I went Cambridge. Someone was like, listen, Josh, don't chase the money. This is the biggest mistake I made. Don't chase the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things happen in your life where you remember moments, you know,
Yeah.
and they just stick with you. Someone said, don't chase the money. And I thought, And I'll tell you, we'll probably get to it in the end where I felt like I did and I regret it to this, not regret it to this day, but I learned. So basically someone said, don't chase the money. And I was thinking, you know what, that's a point. I did it, but I think I kind of backtracked to myself at a certain point, which is where we'll eventually get to. But when I didn't chase the money and I played for pride and like, you know, where I thought would give me an opportunity to go forward, it excelled me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's always the other side. You're not going to get as much money. You
Yeah.
can't do as much things as you want. Do you know what I mean? You got to hold back at them things. You know, you can't go out as much. You can't chill with the man them and as much as, you know, splash out because you're doing a certain thing.
You know what I say about this money thing, yeah? Like, we had Danny, like, in the first episode, he spoke about it, about, you know, there's a certain time up until when you chase money.
Yeah.
But for me, I believe if you are chasing to be a pro, like, if it's in your sight to be a pro, I reckon you've got to chase more so the opportunity rather than the money. Even if that comes at the risk of not earning, like, I wouldn't say not enough, but if it means that you can just about get by, then that's a risk you've got to take to make it pro. We've heard like the greats come from nothing to something in it.
Yeah.
But I don't think people are grasping that opportunity is more important than money. And I don't know why that is. Maybe money's glamorized.
Yeah.
People want to have drip or whatever, but whatnot. But my question to you is now, so when you are looking for an opportunity, what does an opportunity look like to you now, knowing that it's not a money thing?
You know,
you got stunned with the He got stunned.
That got me stunned.
He said,
I need to see the bread. Need to see the bread. Nah, I'm joking. I'll be real, I'll be honest. An opportunity now looks like game time. It all matters about the approach, you know. Because I've turned down opportunities because I felt like the approach was not patterned. Like, if a manager's sending me his assistant to DM me on Twitter, I'm thinking,
what's that, man? Come on.
Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you ain't got my details, you might message me, hey, listen, can we get your number? We'd like to speak to you, etc. etc. Ah, cool, that's a different thing. But the approach is everything. You know what I'm saying? Your assistant can't be calling me and do you know what I mean? I feel a bit of a way about that. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, if I ain't got nothing, then it's a different story. But if I'm at a position where I can pick, like, if the approach isn't right, I'm just gonna say no, because I'm at that stage now. Is like when the manager approaches you himself, makes an effort to see you and call you and speak to you, or whether it's a meeting or phone call, then I know, okay, cool. This guy is serious about me. He's gonna give me a chance. Do you know what I mean? He likes me. Not let me just bail him. You want to come down?
This guy thinks Sir Alex or Pep is trying to...
Nah, you know what? I'm being so real, though.
I hear it.
Even at non-league, I'm being so real. Even at non-league, it's different.
Now, when they want you, you know they want you.
You feel it.
Like, you don't have to think twice.
Exactly.
Like, you just know, my man wants me.
Yeah, because...
Like, it's kind of like what Joe said when he came back from holiday. Manager's like, yo, what are you saying?
Do you know what I mean?
Like
it's like, it's a Joe thing, because... Trust me, you lose in the long run, you know.
Yeah.
Because you might think, oh yeah, cool, this opportunity. But meanwhile, he's got 3 or 4 other options in his head. Do you know what I'm saying? And an opportunity now is just basically his approach to me. You know what I'm saying? His approach has to be right. Because I've had too many situations in the past where I've let that slide and it's come back to bite me, etc. Like, this is why the club hopping started at the start. I was going from club to club at the start because I was just going anywhere.
Some football,
do you know what I'm saying? Bro. Without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it needs to be patterned.
So I think one of your biggest challenges now, considering you ain't got a club, how do you then convince managers, like, you know what, I'm here to stay and prove a point. Like, it's not just gonna be a thing where when the going gets tough, I'm just gonna dip out and hop again.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're expecting when they look at the CV. Great teams, but in terms of like loyalty, like it's not there. So how do you then be like, you know what, I'm the man for the job?
Again, bro, I'll be honest. It needs to be a thing where if that manager, I think that manager is cool, I'm going to ride with it anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to ride with it because I know I'm playing. It has to be some drastic circumstance, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like the kit ain't there already, or just, I mean, you're not getting paid on time, or just something mad. But I'll be honest, I rarely say I want to bounce. I don't do it. I'll be real. I never say, "Oh, I'm cutting," even though it might seem like I've left club, but I never say it. It's always something that's happened where I'm just like, oh, I've got no option now. Got to sort of look for something else now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's rarely me that says, "Oh, I ain't up for this. I'm going." Do you know what I'm saying? I don't. That's not me, man. Once I'm there, I always want to stay there the season and go. Do you know what I'm saying? To the end.
No, I hear that. Moving on.
Yeah.
So, I don't even want to say this because I feel like I'm just gonna make your head go big in it, like fat. No, but so obviously you know your name's quite out there in non-league.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like your name is in a position where it's working for you well in terms of even though you haven't got a club and managers might think, oh, him again.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your name is enough to get you in that door and be like, oh, let's get him in?
It's a mad one, you know, because I don't want to sound big headed as well.
No, but I mean, you've got to earn the right for your name to work for you.
Yeah.
I remember watching Anelka's documentary, and people were saying Anelka said like to the point where he's like, I used to work for people, but now the reason why I get around is because my name works for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I remember
credit
that as
to
well.
yourself, you kind of done that. So
Yeah.
how is that working out for you, even though you haven't got a club? I'm talking about the stature of teams that approach you, because if we look at your CV, like I said, it's not no small teams that are approaching you. Do you get what I'm saying?
So, you know what? I think it's my ambition, you know, because my ambition wants to take me higher. And this is not saying that any club that messages me isn't good enough. Do you know what I'm saying? That's definitely not what it is. But I mean, you always want to go higher. Do you know what I'm saying? So if we're talking like non-league, like the you know, Conference South and North and the Ryman Prems and whatnot, like I'm at a level, or I would like to think I'm at a level where I could sort of go into one of them clubs and bid my way in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if we're talking at the levels I want to try and get into, I'm talking like the high end of the conference and even the league. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a lot more work that I still need to do now to prove myself at that level.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So yes, it's all right because I feel like I would get a club. You know, it'll be easier for me to get a club at that level where it's like the Conference South or North or the Ryman Prem because I've been at that level already. But to go to the level I want, my name ain't really banging like that. They're like, okay, we know him. We want to have a look at him.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's about. But, you know, it's not like, you know, lower levels where they're like, oh yeah, get him in. Or, you know, this is what we want to offer you. Do you know what I'm saying? So at the level I want, it's not there like that yet. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Moving on, I've got 2 more questions.
Yeah,
but
go on.
This one, the people might be a little bit confused because I introduced you as Pogba's brother, twin or cousin. They're a bit confused.
Yeah.
So just elaborate on the point as to why I said that. But I will help you guys out. So if you didn't know, Monga over here. Monga, yeah.
Wow,
So basically, you do sports modeling.
Yeah.
And how has that been for you? Obviously, working with the likes of Pogba, what is that like? Do you sit down and take any gems from him? Like that must be
you know
World
what's
Cup
so
winner.
mad?
Like,
you know what's bro, that's what he's like. You know, I'll be so real. That's what he's like. I'll be real. Like with the Pogba thing, yeah, that was an accident. You know, no one believes me, but that was a complete accident. So I grew up in Peckham, South London now.
the ghetto.
The ghetto. I grew up in Peckham now. And a lot of people around the area, I got some boys in that area that used to do modelling and this, that.
Yeah.
And they used to do shoots, like the big Nike adverts and whatnot. And I used to think, oh, that's sick, man. I want to do that. So I never knew how to get into it. But it was actually Andy Ants at the time. I had no connections with him whatsoever. Or Zach Ants, I had no connections with them at the time. But I knew about it. That's how I first knew about it.
Yeah.
So when I was about, how old was I? Probably about 18, 19. When I first come out of the Nike Academy, a friend of mine heard about it and wanted to go to a casting. And he was like, yeah, this casting, do you want to come with me, etc. And I was just like, yeah, I'll come with you. I just come to follow him. So I followed him now, and my friend's done the casting. But in the casting, it's like, it's a football drill. You've got to dribble through some cones and shoot and whatnot. You know me, gassed up. I want to play football all the time. So I've just done it. I've literally just done it.
Hit the target.
Of course, man. Come on, man. You know me. Hit the target now. So anyway, I've done my thing. Then I've taken pictures. But I thought nothing of it. Like I just thought I'm just doing a little casting or whatever. I never thought anything of it. At the time, Pogba was at Juventus. So I've done it now, and thought nothing of it. Maybe like a year later. For the people who know Sports on Screen, there's a girl called Yasmin or Olivia, and they actually work with Sports on Screen. I think they're the secretaries or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you get a job, they'll call you. So I'm just doing my thing or whatever, and I get a call. I think it was a call. I get a call, someone says, "Is this Josh?" I'm like, "Yeah," and it's like, "Are you available next week for a shoot in Manchester?" I was thinking, hmm? So I was thinking, "Sorry, who's this?" And she told me, and I was like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm available," etc., etc. So I've done it. I've said I'm available and whatnot, and then the day before I go to do it, I'm thinking, who am I doing it with? Like, what's going on? Like, what's all of this? But there was a lot of speculation about Paul Pogba coming to United. So I've put two and two together. I thought, you know
No, it
what?
can't be.
It can't be Pogba. I can't be meeting Pogba anyway. So I've got a trim thinking, oh yeah, I need to go be ready and whatnot. I've got on the train now, I've gone there. And as I've got there, I find out it's Paul Pogba I'm doing it with. So I'm thinking, rah, I just get to meet him. I can't wait to meet him. I'm going to ask for a picture. I'm going to do all of this. I get there, I get onto the set now. They told me, listen, no phones, no pictures, no nothing, and all of this. I'm thinking, rah, man, like, I want to take a picture with my man and whatnot. There's like, no, you can't do anything, and you need to do your hair. I'm thinking, what? Do my hair? Bro, like, dyed my hair blonde.
That's why you're doing this nonsense.
Hey, listen, it's not that bad now. I get used to it.
That's why you got the hat on.
Oh, man, George, you're killing me, man. Hey, so basically, that was it. I dyed my hair blonde. I did the shoot. I got to meet him. And that was crazy for me. So
the rest is history.
And the rest is history. This was like 5 years ago. So I didn't know at the time.
And now you're my guy.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. That's my guy. I can't lie.
No, but to wrap up, last question. So you've talked about, your experience in non-league, and we did speak about opportunities.
Yeah.
So now I have a question for you. So we're talking about opportunities, right?
All right. Cool. Yeah.
So if you have the chance to play, you've never played below Ryman Prem, have you?
No.
You only played Ryman Prem?
No, Cambridge was
okay, cool. So let's put it like this.
Yeah.
Would you go back to Cambridge?
Yeah.
Guaranteed that you can play every game?
Yeah.
With like just enough bread to get by?
Yeah.
Or would you go in a conference like big team?
Yeah.
But it's like good bread as well, but it's like 50-50 you'll play or not. See, I told you.
No, you just want
money.
No.
It's just money.
It's not
It's
money.
just money. I
No,
told
it's
you.
not money. No, because I'm going to give you the answer you probably don't expect. It's not money. I'll probably be at the conference team because I haven't. What would I get now going to that level because I've already been at that level and done something? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, listen, like, I understand. Everyone goes through ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever look at a man if he's playing at a certain level because I know how hard it is. Do you know what I'm saying? You could be there and end up there. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But if you've got the opportunity, 9 out of 10, man, them are gonna go up. So I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna probably go for the conference opportunity to prove myself at that level. That's why.
You know what? I can't knock a man for his opinion.
No money. It's nothing to do with money because I know you think I'm chasing the money, but no, it's nothing to do with that.
Nah, you know what? You answered it fair and square, and that's credit to you. Yeah. But it's been great seeing you, man.
Thanks, man.
I hope you really do kick on, just for your, not even for mine, but for your own sake.
Yeah,
man.
Appreciate that, man.
I truly believe you deserve it. Hopefully your time comes.
Thank you, George, man.
And you banging them goals, and you do the man them from the ghetto proud, you know,
man.
Because like man them need man them from the ends to blow and that to bring them to libs. I'm joking.
Just joke about to libs. Oh my god.
Like, man, I see you there. Hey, but guys, it's been another great episode. Big guest, obviously Paul Pogba's brother Monga. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow the kid up. You never know. He's Pogba's brother. He could plug you with Adidas. Like, I don't know now. I'm just putting it out there. But we'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace.